Our grand total for the whole cabin inside and out is...
Hey folks, welcome back. We're in the cabin and we're going to be talking through some more money matters, the costs of fitting the whole thing out, because it's all well and good talking about how much it costs to build something, but actually you've got to make it habitable. We've got to get the kitchen, the bathroom, furnishings, so
radiators, blinds, all of it.
Have you kept tabs on it?
Yeah.
And we're going to share it with you now.
Yeah.
So welcome to the kitchen.
Woohoo.
We didn't really do a after. We filmed some of the installation, but we didn't really film a finished shot because it's only really just
And
finished.
actually, we have made a few tweaks since we last filmed in here. So we've now got yellow
Yeah, a little bit more trim.
fillers. I don't know what you call it. And these lights are new too.
Yeah.
And these lights are new.
So we can finally see what we're doing.
Yeah, these lights were brilliant by John Lewis.
So your budget on offer.
Well, we had one light coming down, didn't we, for such a long time?
That was temporary. We needed
And we
something
just needed
that could
something. We can
spread.
now see our food when we're cooking it, and it made a lot of difference.
So the kitchen was from DIY Kitchens.
Yeah.
It was not the most expensive one. It was their kind of shaker, painted slab doors. I say slab doors. They're shaker style, but they are MDF. And they're okay. They show up marks and stuff, and we wouldn't necessarily go with them in the main house. But
I think a few people commented last time and said, "Oh, they do like to show like fingerprints and stuff." And
Yeah.
they do, but it's got.
they're easy enough to clean.
Yeah, they are nice and wipeable, so that's good. Anyway, the total cost of the kitchen was £7,674.
Which is way more. We budgeted for 3.5 when we first did our kind of rough figures before we even moved to the farm, and we thought we'll do what we did last time. We'll buy a used kitchen, put new worktops in, maybe paint them, that sort of thing. But we started going through it, and actually you kind of start compromising a lot if you do a used kitchen or clearance, or
And
an
we
ex
wanted
showroom.
it to be really high quality in terms of selling the cabin at the end
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But that includes the sink, the tap, that includes the
Appliances.
oven, the hob. Yeah. I think it includes the fridge, which was a bargain.
That was
but,
second hand. The worktops have worked out okay. They are maple, and I kind of went with them because I know how to work with wood. I've never actually done any joints in a laminate worktop, and we obviously weren't going to put a stone or quartz worktop in here.
Too heavy.
We definitely wouldn't. I mean,
Do
we
that
might for a
again.
pantry or utility or something like that, but we'll always go back to stone. Like we had
does
granite
mark
in the
it
last
easily,
house,
doesn't it?
and it was great. So
I've
we've
put a pan down.
definitely held out for that.
One,
You've had
one pan, but also there's
whoopsie.
some rings, just from different food
Yeah,
dyes.
we
and
should
stuff,
probably give it another
when you're
coat
doing
actually
icing.
soon. But anyway, it's nice and bright and not just your normal oak. As far as internal kind of fittings, we went with blinds for the windows on this one and curtains elsewhere. Blinds were quite important because we've insulated the cabin really well, and certainly in the summer we get a lot of kind of low sun and it can overheat. So we wanted to make sure we had a decent blind on the kitchen over there, and then this one. And then they messed up. Blinds to go. Is that what we got on?
Blinds direct?
Yeah, blinds to go.
Okay.
They messed up. Unfortunately, it was their mistake, not ours, on a measurement. So we ended up being sent another one. I ended up then cutting down, and it worked out okay. Sharpie to finish the end, and we managed to get another window out of it. So shout out to them for their customer service, but obviously they got it wrong. Got it wrong. But anyway,
It took
it
a
is what
while.
it
They
is.
do take a while to come because they are bespoke. Made
Yeah,
to
but
our
their
measurement.
follow-up one was quicker, which was handy.
Yes, true. But we already had curtains over there, but now we've got curtains.
But for
and
two
blinds.
blinds this size, so this is 1,800, and I think that one's about 1,200. Was
£314.
okay. So this one is solid wood, painted. That one's oak, but oak effect. I think it's PVC.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know, or it might be a core but wrapped. Anyway, normal sort of slatted Venetian. Is it Venetian blinds? And this one we tend to leave shut most of the time unless we're doing a film or movie or something in the summer. But it's nice to have that. And we're kind of working our way through. We've had shutters at the last house, different blinds, because we want to make sure we get that right when we come to do the main house build, whether we look at blinds like this again or even some sort of external shuttering, which will help with that overheating, because it is a genuine risk, even though it seems a little bit foreign to kind of worry about overheating when you're normally thinking about heating. But come summer, southern glazing, west glazing, it can get pretty toasty. Right, before anyone asks, this wall behind me is just cedar. So it's just plain cedar boards. They were rough sawn. I planed them down. It was actually cheaper than plasterboard. You know, it's the cheapest way to go if you find a deal on kind of rough sawn timber like that, and you've got the time to let it dry. So I think they worked out £2.50 to £3 a board. Actually, it's not cheaper than plasterboard, but anyway, it's still a nice finish. Either way, we included that in our initial build video. So if you haven't seen that, that's a video which goes through the whole build cost for building the whole cabin from the ground up and kind of itemises everything. So we included that as part of the timber cost for the whole thing.
On to flooring, and the whole cabin is made up of this flooring, and we spent £3,595 on it. And we didn't, we wasted nothing.
We were short by one box.
Yeah, but
we still used it. Yeah.
That was including it,
Yeah, it wasn't like carpet where you end up offcuts and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is LVT.
Yes.
LVT, but it's a loose lay, so it's got underlay built into it. Really easy to install, and actually, I've been really impressed. We've had it a year now, pretty much.
Yeah, April.
And no marks, scratching. It's holding up just fine. Really easy to keep clean. So this dividing line that runs down the middle, which I don't know if we'll get a shot in a minute. That for a good while, was just like a little gap that went through to our subfloor, which is just a chipboard floor. In the end, we got some CT1 in an oak colour, put it in, and actually far more subtle than if we tried to put some sort of trim, like a D profile, even if that had been oak.
Yeah.
We've done that in the past. I think we did stair nosing or something at the old house. We had laminate or similar oak flooring, and then that actual kind of trim piece wore really quickly, and you ended up with kind of the white of the plastic showing through. So either way, this is a really
it's also
simple
a lot
way to
easier
go.
to clean too.
Yeah. Right, we won't show you the whole of this room. This is the utility and a little toilet and things like that. This is the working part of the house. Cloakroom and all the merch is stacked over there still. We've got dog and also my kind of desk. Anyway, as far as heating goes, we have an electric heating system, which we'll talk about in a minute. However, as far as hot water goes, we may have touched on in the last video, but we've still got a simple water heater here. This is essentially like a combi boiler, but it only does hot water, so it's just a water heater. LPG, it was about £400, I think it was, and I think it was also the largest one they do. It's made by a company called Ariston, and we haven't had any issues with it. It's a little bit simple, but that's fine. It just kicks in and out when we need it. The LPG, the gas fitter, was quite impressed with it. He said it was kind of old school in its construction, in that there was not much to go wrong, and the heat exchanger was quite simple to service. So he's going to be back next month, and we'll see how it's done after a year's worth. We have got through 2 cylinders. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah.
So we're on our third of the tall orange ones. So a year, I don't know what that costs. They're about £100 each, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're probably about £250 for a year's worth of hot water, including baths.
Painting, we stayed fairly neutral on throughout the whole cabin. We've got a feature wall in the girls' room, well, one of the girls' rooms, and in our bedroom. But apart from that, it is off-white throughout. Oh, and pink in the bathroom. But that totaled £750.
We spent quite a bit on paint, but again, it was a case of working through different brands that we might use in the future.
Yeah.
So this was Dulux Heritage, which actually we really liked how it went on, and we sprayed. Did we spray the top coat? Yeah, we sprayed the top coat. Obviously, a lot of mist coatings to do as well. But then, because we ended up painting the whole ceiling in there, that's quite an expanse, and that was an eggshell. So that's probably what the cost was as well.
And it's all the woodwork, all the doors, you know. So it does add up.
This was just satin or eggshell, quite standard stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dulux Heritage, I think I would go with that again, but it doesn't, you know, you don't.
Wipeable.
Oh no, we wouldn't necessarily. We went for a flat mat in here, but we could go for a slightly more durable finish. But
I was
as far
worried
as the
about
coverage,
the
it went on
VOCs,
well.
wasn't I, and stuff. So I was trying to go low VOCs, but it's then finger marks everywhere.
I mean, we used a lot of kind of clay paint and stuff at the last house, which is lovely and healthy, but actually it's not that durable. So you've got to kind of. I mean, maybe the answer is really heavy trafficked areas. We do that nice sort of shaker style paneling again.
Yeah.
And then you can use mat everything from waist high above, all the ceilings. It's going to be a big expanse in the next place. So anyway, that's for a future video. Let's have a look at the bathroom. Right, into the bathroom, not the biggest room in the house, but equally still a manageable sized bathroom for what is a relatively small building. We went with really simple vinyl floor. It was a remnant from a carpet place, and I think it was £90. Installed one dark winter's evening, and it's been just fine. You can seal around the edges, easy to maintain, and absolutely no problem. As far as the bathroom fit out, we went with panels, so no tiling.
On the ceiling and on the walls.
On the ceiling and the walls.
And they cost.
And it was lighter.
Yeah, well, that was one of the main reasons we went for it. And we wanted to try it out in terms of whether it looked good and usability.
It's okay. I'd use it in a guest bathroom. But
oh, well, it's cheap. It's not cheap, but it's
cheaper.
It's easy.
It's cheaper than tile. Total?
£346.
So we went with a matte white kind of PVC board on the ceiling. I think it was like 2 packs of them. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 1 metre wide shower panels. So they're really easy to install, and actually they are pretty tidy. They're not too fake looking.
No, I like them.
But they're not high end.
Yeah.
Good enough, good enough.
So the toilet and bath was £649 from Victoria Plum, I think. And then the sink unit was £315.
And that's not too bad, actually, that vanity. Well, although it is an MDF, a painted MDF, it's quite substantial.
Yeah, the sink's good.
So there are other costs in here, taps and things like that. So we've got one big total for the whole bathroom.
Yeah.
Which, do we know it now or not?
Yeah.
Actually, this just thinking that £600 was for the toilet in the other room as well.
1,830.
And that covered the family bathroom and a small toilet with a vanity. So
yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Good going, I'd say.
Yeah.
Including the flooring, the ceiling.
And the plumbing. Extractor fan, simple one. That was a Screwfix purchase. And the shower screen.
Yeah. I think it's £153 and it was just an online.
It's quite heavy though. It's like 6 mil solid. Right. Where are we on to next?
Radiators.
Right, as far as heating goes in the cabin, we tried to keep things as simple as we could because we weren't going to the extent we are with the big build and working out kind of modelling for the house and how much heating demand there was. We'd insulated and made it as airtight as possible for the size of the building. So we didn't put radiators throughout. We didn't do underfloor heating throughout or anything like that. We simply allowed for a wall-mounted heater. And we didn't have them to start with, and it wasn't freezing cold in here. We had a bit of heat down the far end, and that seemed to be enough to keep it going with a bit of sunlight during the day as well. However, it's been good to have these in. They're about 1,000 watts each, so the smallest you can get. Wall hung on a fuse spur, and there's a 7-day program on them. To be quite honest, they're usually set right down, and I guess they might kick in and out a little bit, but rarely do we actually notice them being on. So hopefully it's just a residual heat throughout the building. They were sourced from Screwfix. We have 4 of them, so 1 in each bedroom. And we did buy another one, which we still got, I think, in storage somewhere, which we were going to put in the utility. But the utility has the boiler in it, and it's got a tumble jar in it. And to be quite honest, the dog doesn't seem to mind.
And it's the room which is closest to the lounge, which has the most heat in it anyway.
Yeah.
£1,081.
£1,081. So that is for 5 of these, and for 2 oil-filled or water-filled radiators that we converted into electric, which are on a smart system. So there's one in the bathroom and there is one in the main living room, and they are the 2 which we do use. I think the bathroom contributes to keeping this end of the building warm, and the one in the lounge is more regular for the heating. Again, it's only, I think, 1,200 watts, the element in there. But that's on a room thermostat, kicks in and out, and it's kind of got a smart app as well. But that is pretty much our primary heat source for the whole building, and it's up the other end, and it seems to do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kept us warm, hasn't it?
Yeah. Right, we're back in the kitchen, the tidiest part of the house right now. Grand total, please.
£15,544.
Which covers everything from kitchen, bathrooms, flooring, paint,
Curtains,
even some
blinds,
soft furnishings.
radiators.
So pretty much everything, heating and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which, for a 4-bedroom, 100 square metre house, we feel okay about.
Yeah.
Some of that might be able to come out when we finish the cabin as well, a few of the bits.
Maybe.
But there we go. So if you hadn't watched our previous video, we went through the full breakdown, but the total from that video was 47,000. So we need to kind of put those together. The grand total is £62,989. I'd be rubbish on children in need or something, wouldn't I? Okay, which is a lot of money and more than we anticipated. Even our revised estimate of building it for 50 grand, we've obviously gone over. But we soon realised we're going to be in this for a little while, and we wanted to make it worthwhile. We could have cut a lot more corners.
Yeah.
However, let's strip that back as far as costs go. I can't even say it. Actually break that down and think about what we got for our money. So £62,000, or 63 if we round it up, and we've got exactly 100 square metre building out of it.
Yeah.
So we built a 4-bedroom house, fully fitted, furnished and everything, for £629 a square metre.
That's pretty good. And this is the little cherry on the cake, really. Cherry on top of the cake? I don't know. We will live here.
Icing on the cake.
Free.
Cherry on the top. I don't know. Go on.
If it takes 2-3 years to build the house, we'll live here rent free.
Correct.
So we won't be paying for any if you think about how much money we would have spent on rent.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to, hopefully, if anyone wants to buy this, sell it too.
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully recoup that costs because we're going to need it.
And we got a lot of experience out of it, building and stuff. So
all positives, really.
That should show you though that what you can achieve, because the average house price for building, as we know at the moment, because we're pricing at the barn conversion, but if you build for under £1,500 a square metre, you're doing pretty well.
Very well.
Normally, especially if it's 2-story, you could be looking at £2,000 a square metre quite easily.
Depending on where you live to, like if you live in, it's 2,500.
And we're pretty much half that.
Oh, another point to mention is we will be doing more of a video on this at some point in the future. How we got to having the funds for this.
Yeah.
We have not got
People think we've got some trees down the woods somewhere that grow notes.
We are debt free. We are not in any form of loans or anything. We bought this and we were able to build this from the surplus of our last house because we put so much effort and money into our last house and it went up in value.
Our income has probably not changed in 10 years. It's changed sources because now we're able to spend more time on YouTube than previous careers. However, we have no magic income or money pot, and we're actually quite keen to do a bit of a breakdown because hopefully it'd be more of an inspirational thing and also an explain it, because it's quite easy to watch videos. I probably do it as well. Watch videos of other people talking money and spending money and thinking, wow, that's obviously because they've got a massive pot of money. Yeah. It simply is just how we've gone through the stages over the last kind of 10, 15 years.
We had a pot after we left our last house that's paid for planning and building this.
And that's it.
And that's it. It's pretty much come back down to zero.
And I think it's fair to say that
we've earned a bit.
Not everyone, but if you own a house and you sell it and you don't buy another house, of course you're going to have. Well, remember, we bought a house and we sold our house. We became homeless in as much as we didn't own or rent a house. We stayed with family, and then we basically sofa surfed kind of until we had this.
Yeah.
So, that's how we've been able to pay for these things and pay things off. Anyway, that's another video for another day, and maybe we'll do that in relation to the barn rather than this. But there we go. Hopefully that was inspirational. So if you have a spare year of your life and you want to build your own cabin or house, we call it a cabin, but realistically it's a house. There's no difference. It's just a timber frame bungalow. There we go. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed that. Remember, you can go back and watch the whole series on the cabin. It took us a good old year, but there's a whole series you can go and watch the full build in all of its glory.
Yeah.
And we'll leave a link to the previous video which explained the full cost of the build.
Now on to the big build!
Big build, big bucks. Any questions on what we've used in the cabin or anything we missed, or if Joe's maths was wrong, or any grammatical mistakes?
Don't tell me, okay? I'm really sorry.
Just leave them in the comments. We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Remember,
if you can, do it yourself.
And we'll see you next time. So
the shower panels that we've got on the roof and the ceiling.
No, you just said roof. I get told off for that.
Okay,
oh, roof.
I just
Sorry.
changed.
I know.
You say it.
It's fine, come on. It's fine. I said it before you. Go on.
The roof.
Oh, I think we get up. Oh man.
Right, I think it's just the final total for the whole cabin inside and out is
£62,989. I said it
Why
like
do
you
you
did
say-
it. No, I didn't. You did it last time.
what, just now?
62 grand. No, in the last video you said pounds after the
Did
first
I?
bit.
Oh,
Yeah, you said
dear.
£47,000, 400.
Oh, in that one I did.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's start that little segment again.